Hey friends, it's Chris from Protect Young Eyes, and it's this week's Tech News and Trends for June 5th, 2024. This is where Isaac and I, we go out, we find the news that matters so that you can focus on raising your kids in the digital age. You know them best. So we take what we find, we summarize it down so that you can take these little bits and use them to help create safer digital spaces. I have 6 things that I want to share with you today. Here we go. Number one, a group of previous and current employees at OpenAI are telling the truth about what they call, quote, a culture of recklessness and secrecy at the company. These insiders are claiming that OpenAI has not done enough in order to prevent its technology from becoming dangerous to humanity. In fact, William Saunders, one of the godfathers, right, of this movement, he said this when he left back in February. He said, when I signed up for OpenAI, I did not sign up for this attitude of, quote, let's put things out into the world and see what happens and fix them afterward. Saunders and others state that OpenAI is totally disregarding safety in order to run after what they're calling in the industry AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, this type of AI that can mimic human behavior. Now, just last week, we reported in our news that Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, had started a safety committee, but he's the head of the committee, which is a horrible conflict of interest and doesn't help anything. So parents, this is a topic. The whole thing around AI is something that we need to stay up to date on and how it impacts our kids with deep fakes and the sharing of non-consensual fake/real photos of our children. We've written a deep fakes post that you can find a link to in the description or the caption. In item number 2, here's some good news from the country of New Zealand. They have adopted a countrywide away for the day policy. And I want you to hear their statement. It says, I quote, the regulations require that schools must ensure students do not use or access a phone while they are attending school, including during lunchtime and breaks. This includes students who are on a school course or visit outside of school grounds. So not only in the school itself, but during school hours when they aren't at school doing other activities. Now, it does give some exceptions, right? As we would expect and as we support. It says that students may be granted access to use their devices when, 1, a phone is required for health reasons, 2, a phone is necessary to support a student with a disability or learning challenge, 3, a teacher directs students to use phones for a specific educational task. Now, principals can slightly modify this for special circumstances, but that is countrywide, which we love. And you can read more about what it might take to move your school toward a phone-free environment away for the day. Just visit phonefreeschools.com and you'll find all kinds of help and support to get you on that path. In story number 3, a topic that it seems like we have to cover every single week. Julie Jargon, a reporter who we have supported and worked with at the Wall Street Journal, reported on a survey that was done by Human Factor, a nonprofit who interviewed over 1,000 students and parents around the country related to the issue of deep fakes that are shared of students, non-consensual/AI generated photos of real people. We've been reporting on this for a long time, this issue, where schools, right, have been grappling with students sharing these non-consensual, nudified images of other students. And what they found is that even when students, according to this survey, know that the photos are fake, the victims are still the ones who are bullied and who are criticized. Here, I quote, even if it was debunked as a fake image, the subject would still get bullied and made fun of, said a student in El Dorado, Illinois. Here's another quote. Their morals would be questioned, noted a student in Seal, Alabama. Another one, people will see them differently, added a student in Levittown, New York. Friends, here's the problem. These apps and websites are everywhere. They are out of control. Apple and Google have not done their part to keep them out of the App Store. There's no age verification to prevent minors from using them. And our brains process images 60,000 times faster than text, and so we don't forget them. If you have teens or young people in your home, parents, we must have direct conversations with them about this issue. Again, we've pointed to the post before, but read our deepfakes post to give you some tips on how to handle this critical topic. In news number 4, we reported last week about Twitch, an app that is gaining in popularity, especially as a live streaming news platform. Now, traditionally, Twitch has been used as a streaming gaming platform, but now individuals are using it to report on news live. It was extremely popular while protests were happening related to the conflict in Israel, so that people could see live what was happening at these conflicts at universities all over the country. Recently, there was a coalition of ambassadors on Twitch that got together and they had a fundraiser and they raised $1.5 million for relief in the conflict. So, friends, this is an app rated 12 plus that is gaining in influence and popularity with live content, which means you never know what is going to be seen or shared. And because it's rated 12 plus, we as parents must be involved in the apps that our kids are downloading onto their iPhone or onto their iPad, which is really just a big smartphone, and then also on Android devices. You can read all about Twitch, what it's used for, and how to control it by tapping on the link to the Protect Young Eyes app review in the description or the caption. Number 5, this week, Twitter, in a highly publicized move, or X, they're now officially condoning adult content on the site. Now, Twitter has been a haven for porn for years, but an official policy change now says this: we permit consensually produced and distributed adult nudity or sexual behavior as long as it's properly labeled. All right, so in the app, this is how this is going to work. 1, it has to be properly labeled. 2, if you have a birthday under 18, you won't be able to see it. Or if you don't have an age attached at all, you won't be able to see it. But we all know that you can simply change the birthday and anybody will be able to see it because there's no actual age verification on the device. So that's obviously a problem. A significant percentage, in fact, I think over 40%, according to a survey in Australia, show that teens access pornography through Twitter. Common Sense Media showed us that I think it was 38% of kids, they see pornography through, traditional social media sites. And I think Twitter would fall into that. Problem number 2 is that both Apple and Google, from the beginning of their app stores and the Google Play Store, have prohibited pornography. Yet they both this week have said that they're going to allow Twitter to stay. So hypocritical. And we know it's all about money. So, friends, we just need to be aware of the apps that our kids are downloading. You can go into the App Store on their phone, and if it has a little cloud next to it on an iPhone, you can tell that it's been downloaded at some point, even if it's been deleted. You can swipe down and type in the name of an app and see if it exists on the iPhone, because you can change both the look and the feel and location of apps, right? These are things that we need to do. You can read about Twitter in our app review. You can also read about controlling the App Store if you tap on the links in the caption or the description. And item number 6, in iOS 18, which will be rolled out in the fall, right? Apple unveils a new operating system update every single fall. What we've been told about iOS 18 is it's going to have a web eraser feature, which will allow users to block ads when they're using Safari. Now, this is a great thing for those of us that can't stand being inundated with ads. It's horrible for advertisers, but Apple's all about privacy and giving us that control. But here's my question. Why isn't this being used to protect kids? If you can block ads, then you can block porn everywhere. Imagine that being blocked right there instantly on a page selectively, having just talked about Twitter, that it could block that part and tweets are seen, but none of that explicit content if that's toggled on. So this is just another example of amazing technology that isn't prioritized for the safety and protection of kids. We'll be testing iOS 18 as a beta tester this summer to see how it works. So friends, there you go. That's this week's tech news and trends. Subscribe so you can stay up to date. Visit us anytime at protectyoungeyes.com. We'll see you again soon.